Why can't if happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't
a lot of time, I don't think. Can we get chairs for the dancers? Is this on? Can you hear me? Oh, you can. Good. I'm Stuart Schulman. I'm Heidi. Thank you so much for coming. And I will admit that I was kind of nervous to show this work because I've never worked on something and not censored it and censored it and censored it to death before I put it out in front of the public. And I really didn't want to do that. And so what you're seeing is kind of me playing around. You want to come a little forward. Does anybody have any questions for the dancers or? Yes.
Oh yeah, I like when the couples dance together. Did you cast them for the show, like you know what black and white, and red hair and dark hair together?
Yeah.
When the casting, the rainbow, when you know when actor was white, one was dark, and also one was like red hair and was dark hair.
Not directly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
No, it just kind of, like I said, it's been an interesting process because when I got into rehearsal this fall, all I wanted to do was dance. So I learned a solo, or I relearned my solo. And then people kept coming into the process to learn it with me. And then things got built that way.
Oh, okay. I like that. It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. How did you come up with the idea of doing variations on that song? Why did you think that song would be able to be so many things to so many people?
Well,
Tell the truth, girl.
I'm going to tell the truth. 6 years ago, when I started working with Lisa Bufano, she was the first person with a disability that I worked with. And you know that ukulele song, Israel's piece, I really wanted her to dance to it. And she hated the song. We had a huge fight, like the biggest fight I think I've ever had with a dancer. And I remember I said to her, okay, you go home and figure out why you hate this so much. And I'm going to go and try to figure out another song that we can use. And we came back together, and I did find her another song. And she was uncomfortable singing, because it's an inspirational song, because it's iconic. I think the fear is that, you know, are people going to interpret this as, I want to be somebody else, you know, somewhere over the rainbow. So when my mission for myself, or my gift to myself this fall, was to just dance in any way I wanted to, I brought that song in, because I love that song. And we started doing this material to that song, and I thought, wow, I like it to this song. And then I had brought Jaron in. So where's Jaron? Right, Jaron and I met in the summer, and he learned my material so beautifully and in his own way. And so then we learned it I got Greg to learn it the way he does it, which I think is ultimately more interesting than the way I did it. And it grew. Then we started bringing in all different kinds of it. I started thinking, well, what if we use all different renditions? And Greg, who's not here, is in the company, brought me a bunch of songs, and we just started playing. So my concern was, I remember when Simi Litton came in to rehearsal, I wondered, is this going to be provocative? Is it a no-no? You know, does anybody have any comments?
It was absolutely beautiful.
No, thank you. Yes, Katie.
I don't have
If you could just wait for the mic so
Okay,
everyone can
hold
hear.
on.
Hold on one second.
Thank you for not making me scream.
You know I'm very much a traditionalist, and I have no problem. Everyone relates to all music in their own way. So I think if every one of us were to be honest, over the rainbow, we all want to go over the rainbow, whatever that might mean to the individual, whether it's going beyond yourself. I don't think it has anything to do, at least I didn't feel that way, have anything to do with wanting to be other than you are. I think it's, everyone wants to top themselves and go over the rainbow. And you said you wanted to give that to yourself as a gift.
Yes.
You did it.
The other thing, thank you, Katie. You know, the other thing I thought of was in the movie, she goes home. Right? She wants to go over the rainbow, but she wants to go to Oz, but then Dorothy ends up at home. That's where she wants to be. We've done a lot of, it's like the process with GIMP, where we did a lot of talking. We also have done some talking, especially Stuart and I have done a lot of talking about it. What could it be? What is it? I still don't know what somewhere is. I have a better sense of solo, counter, solo. So what do you think of the two pieces together?
I thought they were fine together.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You could write it in on your surveys if you have any thoughts.
Yeah.
Heidi. We got a question up here. And
first, I want to say, Heidi, I thought the performance was absolutely breathtaking. And I mean it in both its metaphorical and its literal meaning. But I was struck by your first comment when you came out, which is that normally you censor and censor and censor a performance, and this one you didn't censor at all. I was wondering, if you were to censor it, what would you have censored?
Well, I have been making, I think, pretty intense work over the years. I think I have a certain aesthetic. The country song is not mine. The disco song is what I was in my 20s. That made me nervous. You know, there's a joy, I think, in somewhere that I'm not quite comfortable with yet. And so, if I were, like, what, you know, this is my, what I'm going to have to go through as an artist, as I keep developing it, you know, what is this piece? Do all these sections fit in somehow? You know, or are they some of them superfluous? What's the mess, like, what's the underlying theme? I mean, there are many themes, but so many of these things, like with David Harrell, where's David? He didn't work very long on that piece. And I love it, actually. And originally, I put it right after the disco song. And then when did I put it up front?
Like 3 days ago?
3 days ago. So like some of these pieces are very under-rehearsed. And that would make me, normally I wouldn't show that. And I feel really good about this because I think all of these dancers, and there are a lot of them, have done a great job of like just going for it with me.
Can the dancers introduce themselves?
Sure.
Hi, my name is Dario Vaccaro. I'm from Argentina, and I'm happy to be dancing with Heidi.
Hi, I'm Jerron Herman. I'm from California. I'm the resident baby of Heidi Latsky Dance.
Rob Simpson, I'm from East Philly.
I'm Erica Moshman from New York.
Jillian Hollis.
George Gallagher, I'm from New York City.
I'm Steve Shepis, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Paula Styron.
Joseph Mills. David Harrell.
Meredith Pages. Melanie Haley.
And I'm Heidi Latsky.
So I'm Elfie, and I need to say, or I want to say, I'm going to say, that I don't want to be over the rainbow, I want to be on the rainbow, because I love the view from the rainbow. And I really appreciated, I deeply appreciated the opportunity to see a piece today. I wanted to ask you about the first piece and your inspiration for that. Can you talk a little bit about your first piece?
I went to see Twyla Tharp's In the Upper Room. ABT was doing it, and it's a piece that was made in 1986, and it was one of the reasons why I started dancing. And when I saw it in the fall, I danced all the way home. I called Meredith and said, you have to help me with this. And it spoke to the dancer in me, not so much the choreographer. I just wanted, it's such a glorious celebratory piece. It's to music by Philip Glass. To me, it was an exploration in movement and the joy of movement, and I wanted to do it. Actually, always wanted to do it, but I didn't. So now I want to make kind of my own version of it. And I think most of my career has been based on the emotional work, and very physical, but there's an emotional impetus for it. This does not have that. This is, for me, going to be purely formal. I mean, I think it's going to come out a little bit, but the idea is to just really go into the material. And Ivan, my agent, was at a rehearsal once, and we were trying to figure out